All right, let's talk about PEPE. It's one of the wildest, most talked about meme coins out there, and everyone's asking the same thing. What is actually going on with its price? And could it be heading for the moon again? Let's dive in and break it down. So, here it is, the big question. Could this internet joke, this digital frog, really actually climb back up to a price of $0.0000001? I mean, on the surface, it sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, here's the kicker. It's not crazy at all, because PEPE has already been there. In fact, its all-time high was even a little bit higher than that target. So the real question isn't if it can get there, but what on earth it would take to do it all over again. And that's exactly what we're going to figure out. Okay, before we can even think about predicting the future, we have to get a handle on what we're actually dealing with right now. So let's start with part one, an internet joke's value. First things first, what even is a meme coin? The most important thing to get your head around is this. Its value has almost nothing to do with some revolutionary technology or real-world product. Nope. It is fueled almost entirely by community hype and whatever's blowing up on social media that day. So, let's zoom in on PEPE's profile. Yeah, it runs on Ethereum, and yep, it's based on that frog meme we've all seen, but the parts you really need to focus on are these last two. It is a highly speculative asset. Its price is just completely disconnected from normal economic factors. It's playing by a totally different set of rules. Think about it like this. Over on one side, you've got traditional value, based on a real thing, a service, something you can touch. But then you have PEPE's world over on the other side, sentiment-driven value. It's built on what a group of people collectively believes, what's trending, what's getting all the attention. It's a fascinating and, let's be honest, an incredibly risky way to create value. Okay, so if it's all about feelings and hype, how do you actually turn that into a massive price pump? Well, that brings us right to section 2, the price pump formula. Right, we know it's fueled by hype. But what are the specific ingredients you need to cook up that kind of storm again? What would it really take for PPE to launch back to that all-time high? From what we can see, it really boils down to a simple two-part formula. First, you need the entire crypto market to be on a tear, a big bull run. That's when people feel optimistic and start throwing money at riskier stuff like this. And second, you need that viral spark. You need a massive surge in online chatter, influencers talking it up, creating this positive feedback loop where hype creates more hype. But here's the thing about that formula. That potential for an explosive pump comes with an absolutely massive risk. And that leads us to section 3, the house of cards. This quote right here, man, it just cuts straight to the heart of the problem. Its value is not supported by a tangible product or service. Just let that sink in for a second. When the hype dies down, what's actually left holding up the price? And because there's no safety net, you get these huge risks. The big one is just extreme volatility. The price can swing like crazy, up or down, because it's only based on how people are feeling. One bad news story, a shift in social media mood, and you can see a week's worth of gains get totally wiped out in a matter of hours. And this really paints the picture, doesn't it? The potential upside is huge. No one's denying that. That's what draws people in. But the potential downside, the risk of losing it all, is just as big. It is the textbook definition of a high-risk, high-reward bet. So let's pull all of this together. We've seen the potential, we've seen the risks. What's the final verdict here? Welcome to our last section, hype versus reality. If you strip away all the memes, all the noise, and all the chatter, it all comes down to one single powerful word, speculation. This isn't an investment in technology. It's a pure bet on where you think everyone else's attention is going to go next. So let's go back to our big question one last time. Can PEPE hit that price target again? And the answer is, yeah, it's absolutely possible. But, and this is a huge but, its success is completely tied to those two things we talked about, a roaring bull market and catching that viral momentum. It has nothing to do with the kinds of fundamentals you'd look for in any other kind of investment. In the end, PEPE is so much more than just another coin. It's a perfect case study for how value even gets created in our world today. And it leaves us all with a much, much bigger question to chew on. In a market that's so heavily driven by pure belief, where do you draw the line? Where does all the hype end and the real value truly begin?